Hey guys, welcome back to Fandom Sage Powers, where we discuss comics, heroes, villains, and the Empire. I did what you said. I rang a bigger bell. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. There may be others. I don't understand what went wrong. I'd start with the idea that you thought you could resurrect 16 million dead people. I believe that, if I may be so bold, is where you went wrong. My research was rigorous. My spell was perfect. Clearly, it should have worked. You tried to undo death as if you or any of us have any power in that realm. You should have known better. But that's the thing with you, isn't it, Wanda? You still don't understand that you cannot erase bad deeds from existence. You cannot bury sin. You can only eclipse them with greater deeds. At some point, you're going to have to embrace that idea and act on it. Until then, you're just going to keep doing this, creating chaos and leaving others to clean up your mess. So you're going to help. I really don't have time for this. Okay, sure. Okay, fine. Now, tell me exactly what you did. Well, first I got an eye from Alec Ra. Oh God. Then a tri-crown from a chaos godhead named What Were You Thinking? And I focused it through a root from the world tree. You're a damned fool, woman. Wong! Yes, Doctor. I'm sorry, I know we had this on the books for quite some time and you're only in town for a day, but we're going to have to cancel our reservation at Lake Cuckoo. I'm headed out on a suicide mission. We'll have to do it some other time. Of course, not a problem. You're going to go without me, aren't you? Have a nice day, Doctor. We are picking back up with X-Men issue number 11 right now. I'm telling you, he was this way, through here. He was just sitting there, waiting like a total weirdo. I thought we weren't supposed to talk to him. Nobody said that. It was more like, be careful. Yes, he's a mutant, but he's not from here. He's not like us. This way, I think. Are you sure? I don't know, maybe. I did see him. He smiled like he knew I was there even though I was hiding. He was surrounded by his creepy little... Okay, see? Just like I said, total weirdo. Hello, friends. Hi. So, what are you doing here? Meditating or... Hey, is that a game? It looks like a game. It is a game. A game of Arago. I learned to play it as a child, but it's certainly not just a game for children. I've played it many, many times. How's it work? That depends on the player, actually. Each game is adaptive. It changes. You can play with one player, as I was getting ready to, but it's better with two. What's it called? Yeah. It's an Iraqi word. The name doesn't translate cleanly. I suppose the closest thing is trial, or maybe test would be better. It's a game about discovering the soft places inside both you and the person you're playing against. How to defend, how to attack. It's a game about weakness. What if you don't have any? Yes, that's how it starts. Would you like to play, friend? It's okay to refuse, many do. I'll play. Excellent. But a word of caution. Once the game begins, we do not stop until it ends. I've missed many a meal this way. Sure, okay. How do we start? Choose a piece. Whoa, that's different. Then place your piece anywhere on the board. As with life, where you begin has little to do with where you will end. All the moves are yours and they can take you wherever you choose. Or more importantly, where fate demands. What the? Well, that's ominous. The three Skrull empires have united under Emperor Hulkling to fight a common enemy, the celestial messiah Koi and his plant-like Cotati, who have claimed the Earth's moon as their own. The X-Men began to fight back on the moon, but in doing so drew the attention of the Cotati to a much bigger target, Earth and Krakoa. A report to the Quiet Council from the Captain Commander. Asymmetrical Warfare. For the eyes of the Council only. This is a brief overview of our recent Captain's Quorum, but what should be of particular interest to you are our recommendations regarding enhanced techniques and combat scenarios for mutants with combat experience. These proposals come with 0 reservations and have the full support of the Quorum. Research and expansion in this area has our highest recommendation. Quorum notes. Island readiness. Following the multiple recent incursions of Krakoan space, the Quorum's position is that our existing dome of protected space should be expanded through a series of encircling chain islands. We can construct these ourselves and moor them to Krakoa at selected intervals, but first we want to check with Cypher to see if the island can and is willing to do this itself. Mutant training. We know that we're trying to create an atmosphere that is serene and non-militaristic, but Bishop has been cataloging the amount of actual training being done on Danger Island in the Atlantic Archipelago, and the numbers are much lower than expected. The Krakoan population is clocking in at less than 2%. We are not suggesting that everyone be required to become proficient at hand-to-hand combat and using their powers in an aggressive fashion, but the consensus here is that we could do a little more. Archipelago access. Following the suggestion of the Council, we created an escape plan based on tiered evacuations and have had the island telepaths request to and seed this information into the minds of all Krakoans. We consulted with Monet regarding extra island X-Corp employee procedures, and she also recommended packaging this into the language dump for any new mutants arriving to the island and to all resurrection protocols. Omega level mutants. Redacted. See below regarding enhanced techniques. Enhanced combat techniques. The Quorum had a prolonged and rather interesting conversation about the Five and possibilities of conjoined power sets in both offensive and defensive situations. We workshopped a single mutant's power, using Magneto as our point of reference, and how that mutant's power could integrate with others, and limiting ourselves to 3 or fewer complementary mutants, we came up with roughly 40 useful combinations in military scenarios, 28 offensive and 12 defensive. This we all agree is worth further study, and I've created a list of necessary resources to move forward. Additionally, Bishop has volunteered to preside over our first Mutant War College. As stated above, this plan has our highest recommendation. I have also attached the Magneto combinations to this file for the Council to review.
Are you afraid? I ask because it is important. It takes courage to speak the truth. It takes courage to hear it. Today, mutants died. So I ask, are you afraid? I don't know about everyone else, but I'm not. And why is that? Because they're coming back. Yes, the Five are hard at work, and tomorrow we see our family again. For some, it will be as if it never happened. But it did happen. And that's what you need to remember about days like today. We can erase the effect, but not the cause. So are you afraid?
We do not fear death.
We fear man and those like him. Just look at the world they have made.
Exodus, why don't we stop them?
You cannot stop someone from being what they are. We could destroy them, erase them, but then we would be as they are.
Then what can we do?
You, all of you, will grow and play and live and love as you should. Leave progress to us. You are in good hands. Most of you were evacuated to the Krakoan archipelago on the other side of the world after the attack began, so you did not see what happened today. You may have heard whispers. You may have heard some facts, but you have not heard the whole story. And that is why you are here now, to hear the story, to hear the truth of why you do not have to be afraid. Today, it was because of him.
Magneto!
What's wrong? We have incoming. Some kind of large incursion. There are 3 ships on a beeline for Krakoa. Professor X is coordinating with all the other telepaths. We should have most of the non-combatants and children to the Atlantic bunker before they get here. We'll have some casualties, but most everyone should get to safety while we're preparing a response. 3 attacks in less than 3 months. I don't like it, but we're getting pretty good at this. I am tired of this. Where is Cyclops? This attack actually originated from the moon. They're using it as a staging area of some sort. He's on it now, but it's the front line, where he should be. So, alien, not human?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you and the other captains headed to join him there?
I'd like to. We have the cuckoo spidering our defensive web, and I was hoping I could leave the island in capable hands. So tell me, old man, feel like getting your hands dirty?
I may even dress for the occasion. Do you know what a hero is, children? Let me tell you. A hero fights for those who can't. Against seemingly unstoppable forces, against overwhelming odds. And whenever they are asked to risk their own lives to save someone else, they ignore the danger and step forward to be counted.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, Mindy.
Actually, I'm Sophie, sir.
No time for that nonsense today, child. Is one of you with command?
Yes, sir.
Let's have a chat then.
Whenever you're ready.
Command, can you hear me?
We can, sir. This is Sophie.
Are you sure? I could have sworn it was Mindy.
No time for that nonsense today, sir. I'm here with Sage. I'm dialed in, Eric. How do you want to do this?
An overall assessment, and then if you could please locate Magma and Iceman for me.
On it. Okay, I've seized temporary control of 2 totally above-board weather satellites, and quite a few military ones that are not, and retasked them for observation, and here's what I've learned. This is going on across the planet, but it looks like our counteroffensive on the moon is limiting their strike. Black Tom is holding his own with our island-wide defenses, and we've begun to push back. Iceman is helping Storm to the north, and Esme has just located Magma about a mile southwest of there. She was getting ready to try to take out one of the ships with an eruption. Should we hold?
Amara, we know that any Krakoan eruption is self-generated, so I asked you a month ago about finding a deep enough remote vein to tap into in case of an emergency. You wouldn't happen to have done that, could you?
Yes, I did. There's a dormant volcano about 12 miles from here that's deep enough. You want me to blow it?
I do. But if you don't mind, let's not get too carried away. I'd like to avoid an ecological disaster, if possible.
I'll do my best, sir. But no promises. I'm very excited about the possibilities here.
As am I, child. Robert?
Yeah, boss? Are we doing the thing?
Magma is bringing about 20 tons of liquid iron to the surface. Be a good boy and cool it down for me.
Not a problem. It might be brittle, though.
Broken metal with sharp edges. Whatever will I do with that?
Soft, meaty creatures, and your cursed metal rain. Tell me who does this. Tell me or... I've broken another one. I think by the time I'm done here, I will... No. My sweet her. I trained you in the fields of Plon. I bred you for war and let you eat of the limited enemies I allowed myself to have. Who did this? Who dares?
I dare. Honestly, it's a failing that has plagued me my entire life. You are clearly in command here, so I'm offering you a gift. Order your men to leave and never return. Do this, and you can save them. And save yourself, friend.
Do you have any idea on how many worlds I had stood facing someone like you? Some proud meat, thinking your meat thoughts of war and valor? I am the forest. I am the world. I do not lose. All it takes is one seed and a little time. A little time and a little meat in the ground, don't you understand? You are our food. I'm not going anywhere. But if you want to fight fate, if you want this to be about blood, I can always play the butcher. So if it's a fight you're looking for, then fight me.
I already have. And I've already won. Mindy?
Yes, sir?
Please apologize to Sage for stealing her satellites. Also, tell her to go ahead and forward payment for the weather satellites to give their respective governments.
What about the military ones?
You mean the ones that we're not supposed to know about?
Yes, the same ones you dropped on this idiot and used to destroy his ships.
Well, if asked, tell them we have no idea what they're talking about.
Understood, sir. Anything else?
Yes. Please ask Sage to activate the closest gateway to the moon. Time to put an end to this whole episode.
And that, children, is what a hero is. It's what a hero does. Now tell me,
What's your hero's name?
Magneto.
Yes, Magneto. And he is mutant. All right, really cool issue and kind of a follow-up / teaser tag of the Empyre crossover event. I kind of breezed over the last issue or part 4 of the Empyre crossover because it kind of wrapped up pretty quickly. Basically, Magic turned into a demonic form after picking up the staff that Wanda made to resurrect 16 million mutants. We get to see Wanda going back to Doctor Strange, asking for his help to reverse what she had done. And basically they had to wait 30 days for this spell to activate to undo everything that it was done. And of course, on that last day is when everything kind of, hit the fan basically. And this whole battle between the zombies and the Cotati and then the xmen kind of broke out. Time ran out on the timer and all the zombies dissolved, reverting Magic back to her regular self. But it kind of carries over into X-Men issue 11 where the Cotati are still a problem and, they need to be cleaned up and the final remnants of their invasion need to be repelled. And we get to see Magneto in full action and we get to see Exodus recounting the stories to those who evacuated the kids and the non-combatant mutants off the island, telling the legend of Magneto. And I love how Exodus always gets so hyped about whatever story he's telling. He's a really good storyteller and he sets the atmosphere. He gets the campfire going and the kids just come around and it's it's almost like movie night with Exodus, story time with Exodus. I love that he always does that because he wants them to know. He wants them to know how awesome the mutants of Krakoa are and what they have to protect them and why they should not be afraid and kind of instilling in them the pride of being a mutant. And that's kind of Exodus's role. And I really like that they kind of carved out this kind of role for Exodus. Even though he was generally considered a villain, he was always pro-mutant. He was always on the side of mutant rights, regardless of what he was doing, even though it was, generally pretty destructive and he didn't really care about hurting humans at all. He's definitely one of the more reformed former villains for sure. I actually really like Exodus a lot because he does have a code, kind of a moral compass or more of a dogma than anything else. And he really reveres the strong. He has a lot of religious lenses that he sees mutant kind through. He thinks of Hope as the Messiah. He also looked at Magneto as the Messiah at one time and Apocalypse as well. He definitely respects the strong and the council. He's honored to be there. This always kind of shows in everything he does and the way he speaks. So I think Exodus is a really cool character. We get to see some of these mutant circuits or the combination of several mutants' powers together to produce a desired effect that is larger or more effective than one individual mutant's power alone. And we kind of get a breakdown from Cyclops as they've had a meeting with the other captains about using these mutant circuits or these mutant combinations in order to protect the island better, in order to combat external threats even better. So they use Magneto as their initial point of reference to make these combinations and they come up with quite a few pretty easily. And we get to see one in action during this issue, which is combining Magneto's power with Magma and Iceman to bring up molten liquid iron from the Earth's core using Magma's power, cooling it with Iceman's power, thus making lots of metal shards that Magneto can then use as weapons against, whatever threat is out there. So pretty cool issue, adding to this lore of Krakoa as told through Exodus to these children here. So I really love this issue. If you like this issue, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to join the crew for real, check out my page in the join tab if you'd like to join the crew for real, where there are membership options available, very affordable. You get early access to all my content days and days earlier than everyone else. And you get customized backgrounds and customized emojis and all kinds of customizable things. And it really helps support my channel go even farther. Thank you so much for continuing to join me and explore the world of the X-Men, okay? And I'll catch you in the next issue.